most people value the event for a number of reasons, but one common denominator for everyone who goes to Perugia is the energy that you come out of that event. You spend there 3, 4, 5 days with a community of like-minded journalists, researchers, academics, media executives, students, both Italian and from the rest of the world, and it is almost impossible not coming out of that conference energized and motivated and wanting to change the world in a way that you didn't come to Perugia. You came to Perugia with another friend of mine. So we have a very limited time, so I'm going to go straight to the conversation. And first of all, we want to hear from you a little bit of your story, where you come from, why did you decide that Perugia was...
First of all, thank you very much for having us here, and thank you, Vince, and all the staff. And we are very excited and honored to be here. And about me, I graduated in philosophy in 1994, and in Naples. Then I attended journalism school and University of Urbino near Perugia, and then I started to work as a journalist in Milan. First in a national radio, and then in national newspapers, magazines. And then I decided that I don't want to live in a city like that, and I wanted to live in a different dimension from Naples or Milan, so I chose Perugia. And I kept working as a journalist in Perugia, first in a local radio, then in a national newspaper. And I really didn't like to work in Italian mainstream media and media environment. Don't ask me why, because we don't have so much time to face this issue. And so I decided to found my own company, Il Filo di Arianna, the Arianna's thread, and a communications agency, and that, among other things, was a press office and an event organization. And after several years, we worked for private companies and public institutions. I decided to set up my own event. And to me, I am a journalist and very passionate about the intersection between journalism and democracy. It was very natural to think of an international journalism festival. And I remember very vividly when I shared this idea with Christopher, and we were in our garden having a cup of tea, and he said, beautiful idea, impossible to achieve. And here we are after 18 years, so not so prophetic.
What can I say? Unlike Arianna, I have no background in journalism at all. I graduated in economics from the University of Manchester in 1984, after which I spent quite a few years, first in Spain, then France, and finally Italy, working as a teacher of English as a foreign language. And then I joined Arianna's company as a partner, and here we are. Perhaps this might be a good moment to show a brief video of the Festival 2023 in particular, for the benefit of those of you who haven't had the opportunity to attend. It's just brief, 90 seconds, so perhaps we can ask the tech team to run the video.
Let's very quickly show hands. Who has been at Perugia?
A lot.
Wow.
Yeah, good number. Yeah, good number. I can't wait for the next edition. So we
do.
a few things have been said about what makes Perugia so unique. But from your own words, what do you think it makes Perugia
I
so
think
special?
this video speaks for itself, and if I have to summarize the reasons, the main reasons, it's free, it's open to everyone, and it's international. It's really international. Speakers and attendees come from all over the world, and it's inspiring, and it's all content is available for everyone, even if you aren't able to be in Perugia present. You can watch the all sessions because they are live streamed and on demand. And last but not least, for sure, the stunning setting. You watch the video, and you were in Perugia, and it's unique. It's an incredible little medieval town, very beautiful, very special. Mm-hmm. So,
A couple of other things to add to that. The vast majority of the festival program is outsourced, in the sense that we receive proposals from the festival community and beyond, and include them in the program on that basis. Additionally, we don't advertise, and never have done. So the growth of the festival over these 18 years has been based effectively, exclusively on word of mouth, which, as we all know, is the best possible form of sponsorship or best possible marketing department. And those two things. Another element, perhaps not quite as important, but worth mentioning, is that it's resolutely unhierarchical, the festival. For example, we do not have a featured speakers section. Our speaker list is strictly in alphabetical order, and we are really comfortable with that.
Yeah. So we were talking about the choice of the panels. The program is quite intense, 188, and you get how many proposals, and how's the process?
Well, this 2023, we received more than 750 proposals, the vast majority of which are from outside Italy, in other words, English language proposals. And to be honest, many proposals which are not accepted for inclusion in the program should be there on merit. There simply isn't enough program space to include every proposal which should be there. It's something which you need to face in the future, but that's the way it is. In terms of the selection process, it's very simple. We invite, or we have a call for proposals in the autumn with a deadline of 31st of December every year. From the first week of January, we select what we think would work best for the attendees and for the program in general, and set up the festival on that basis. So if any of you are interested in participating in the festival of next year or beyond, you're very welcome to send in a proposal or proposals, and we'll take it from there.
So we should do a 10-day festival.
So, back in 2007, when you work and you bought Garden, defining the festival and the dream of the festival, I'm sure you had an idea. What's the goal? What do we want to achieve? And over these years, what do you think is the most relevant impact that the festival has had in the journalism community, possibly both in Italy and Europe, and maybe?
The impact, of course, is always difficult to assess because it's something intangible. But every year we receive a lot of mails and feedback from not only speakers, also attendees. And as you mentioned before, what strikes me the most is the fact that all of them tell us about when they come back home, how they feel reinvigorated, energized, and I think the community is the key point of all this story. The fact that you feel to belong to someone, to something really, really strong, so I think this is the most one of the most important impacts. We shouldn't underestimate this psychological and emotional level of the impact of conferences like this. And it's important. It could have a huge effect on our life and work life. And I often say maybe also it could have a kind of a domino effect that we don't know. There is also and there are also a lot of hidden impacts of the festival. And as you
share a couple of anecdotes with us.
There are a lot of stories.
Sure. Well, just last week I was on a call with a festival speaker, and she said that for her the 2023 festival back in April was, quote, magical. Now, talk about impact. I mean, if you're reaching the levels of magic, you're doing something right. And another one, I mentioned this to Miguel before coming on, that a couple of hours ago, whilst having a coffee just down the hall, I think I can mention this, we were talking to David Boardman, and he said, he was a speaker back in 2019, and he said, I was on the bus, the transfer bus, which is provided by the festival for speakers coming from Rome Airport up to Perugia, and he happened to find himself sat next on the bus to Julia Angwin of the Markup. And because from Rome Airport to Perugia is, depending on traffic, about at least 2.5 hours, they had a chance to get to know each other. And as a result of this conversation, about which Arianna and I both knew absolutely nothing until 2 hours ago, he became president of the Markup.
Chairman.
That's, again, isn't that impact? Indirect impact, but so those are two examples.
Yeah.
A lot of projects were set up during the festival. And
so a little bit more on this question of impact on the journalism community. Thematically, over the years, some of the first conversations that we had as a community on AI happened in Perugia. Gender and media is one topic. Last year there were 9 panels, if I'm not mistaken, on different aspects of gender representation and media. But that started, the first panel was maybe in 2017 or 18. So Ukraine has a big presence, and the list goes on and on. In terms of impact, what are the topics that you guys think have made a greater impact on the program and then eventually on the community of journalists attending?
Well, that's an interesting question. I'm not sure I would necessarily choose any particular topics. I think, I mean, frequently we get this question before each year saying, what's your principal topic next year? And our answer always is that there isn't one, and there will not be one. I think I can understand why other media events choose to focus on one area of journalism or another. We have always gone for journalism at 360 degrees. I think that works well for attendees. And in terms of impact of particular threads or particular sessions, I mean, there's so many memorable moments down the years, but I think it's the program as a whole which is a winner. It's dense, it's broad, it's 3 full days talking of the English language program. The festival is 5 days, but there are 3 days of English language programming, and we have 7 or 8 events running in overlap all day long. And I think from an attendee point of view, it's just the range of stuff on offer, which is the key element here. So I would personally avoid choosing one or the other of particular events for impact.
But I don't know, there are a lot of events that had a huge impact on our life, and it was an incredible experience. I remember, how was his name? Oleg, the Russian investigative journalist, Oleg Kashin, and it was 2015, and we invited him. He's a very well-known Russian investigative journalist, and he accepted our invitation, and we were very happy about that, of course. And after a few weeks, he was attacked by some criminals linked to the Kremlin, for sure. And they broke his hand, and he went into a coma. And we were shocked, and we thought he could have made it. And instead, he made it. And he went to the festival. And I remember when we met him in the hall of the Hotel Bufani, the headquarters of the festival, and he put his hands on to me, and I noticed that they were bandaged, and at that moment I cried, and I really had I really understood what doing this job and putting your life at risk really means, and I for sure will never forget that, and so.
Yeah. So this aspect that is so important, and we've mentioned a few times, of being a place where people energize or becomes magical, it might have another side of the coin, which is that I imagine that I'm not the only one who have seen this in other conferences, where it becomes a bit of a bubble, where your confirmation bias runs wild, and where maybe critical voices of the mainstream thought might not feel incredibly comfortable to be outspoken about their views. So how do you guys think about that? How do you guys are thinking about protecting the Perugia Festival from being a place where everyone agrees with each other, and where the debate really doesn't happen? Is it happening? How do you?
I think, of course, the discussion, debate are the main core of the festival, and the risk of being biased is natural, is normal. It's not something shocking, I suppose. So the crucial point, in my opinion, is to be aware of it, and in some way, the structure itself of the festival is a kind of a shield of protection from this kind of risk, of danger, even if not completely. But so many people and attendees come from all over the world, and it's impossible to have the same opinion, I don't know, about artificial intelligence or the role of platforms for journalism and so on. And as someone said, I remember this quote because I really like it, everybody is entitled to their own opinions and not their own facts. And that in some way means for us, for the festival, we don't want to give platform to, I don't know, speaking about climate change and the anthropic origin of this global crisis. We don't want to give platform to climate change deniers. So if that means we are biased, I'm proud of it.
I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that you guys are on the case. I think it's a pertinent conversation to have in a room full of funders and donors to talk about philanthropy and the role of philanthropy on festivals and conferences and bringing the community of journalists together. And on the same vein, if you guys can tell us a little bit about your funding and what do you guys think that philanthropic organizations can get out of events like yours, without soliciting. This is a good topic for it.
By the way, that's another unique feature of the festival, that we don't solicit funding. All the funders over the years have been people or institutions who have previously been at the festival, either as attendees or speakers. I mean, a very good example of this is Craig Newmark. I mean, in answer to your question, do you have philanthropic funding? The answer is yes, and the principal philanthropic funder of the festival is Craig Newmark Philanthropies. The interesting point here is that Craig Newmark himself came as a speaker to the festival in 2017 and 2018, and he came back as a speaker in 2019 and also as a festival financial supporter. He remains a financial supporter of the festival and has confirmed, just as it happens the last few weeks, that he'll do so again in 2024. In addition to that, I should also mention, just for completeness, we have Open Society Foundations as a philanthropic supporter. I know Sue Valentine is is here today. Also the Skoll Foundation, Susanna Grego has been involved there. And last but not least, the Gates Foundation, which indirectly has supported the festival for a number of years. I think the indirect form of support or sponsorship, whatever word you want to use, is an interesting one. But certainly philanthropic support is an element of the festival package, as it were, in addition to institutional funding and private sponsorships. Bear in mind that the funding is crucial. I mean, the festival is a big event. Ticket revenue is zero. And being a big event, costs are high. So the festival exists thanks to financial support from, as I say, institutions and private sponsors and also philanthropic organizations. And philanthropic organizations should be at the festival. Philanthropy, as we all know, plays a fundamental role in the news ecosystem these days, particularly in the field of public interest journalism. So all I can say is, to conclude, next April, Perugia, come and join us.
The indirect way of funding is that we have brought our portfolio of grantees to Perugia in a couple of occasions. We have done particular deep dives on issues like solutions journalism, gender, and other topics, and subsidize the participation of our grantees, but also sort of subsidizing their organizing panels on the topics that matter to them, as The Guardian has done a couple of years, CNN did last year, etc. So we have 30 seconds left. One last question about what happens in the back end. So this is your full-time job, but who else? What happens? The volunteers are playing an amazing role. So tell us a little bit of the making of the festival.
Well, the festival is basically 6 months on, 6 months off. So where are we now? Early October. We're kind of just at the fulcrum of on and off.
Your holidays are ending.
The post-festival period of rest and relaxation is coming to an end, and now we're starting to think about the next festival.
Also because we monitor the conversation all year long, so we aren't so lazy as...
From a strictly organizational point of view, it's 6 months on, 6 months off.
And I also, during the year, run a collective blog, a website, crowdfunded. Readers support us. It's a very humble little website, but and we do a lot of fact-checking. Not only we don't fact-check only politicians, but especially the mainstream media, because in Italy we have a huge problem with quality journalism. So they don't really love me for this reason. Yeah, and I'm very proud of it because it's, as I said, something people find very useful, and they decide to support us every year, even if the amount is very humble. But
thank you, Arianna, Ciccone, Chris Porter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.